present during conversation. Even when that conversation is logical in nature, right? It would normally have us kind of maybe go into a story. Instead, like keeping that present awareness, right? And I have a question about the physiological effect on the mind. You know, there was somebody I was speaking to last night, Jill, right? Who actually apparently had gotten in a bit of a fight with Gino recently. And she was insisting that it's important. It's a very important piece of our of the way that we process information is to actually check out, go away, and go process things without being present, without there being an inner subjective, right? And
where we get on the path here.
Yeah.
The path of communication through conversation.
Yeah. And
this road.
This road's awesome,
Isn't this a cool film? If you could watch this film.
yeah, I think it's
I wonder how to get the brights on. No, dude, maybe I can put on the brights. What do you think?
yeah, push them away from you.
You think that's gonna disturb anybody?
No.
Okay, cool. We're going to the Founder's Den to go to sleep. Going to the private hideout in the jungles of North America. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying?
So, yeah, she was asserting that it's critically important that, you know, it's a really important function of the human mind, that it can actually, that it can go into imagination and not be present in the moment. Take a left here. And, you know, actually, like, experience that detachment. And that it's a critical part of how we retain memories and things like that is actually through this other type of thinking that's very pointed.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I can remember almost everything about my life. And I've also created a journal and index so that I can recall everything I don't recall.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I'm really curious about the physiology of
I don't mean to make that about myself, but
remaining present all the time. Right? Like, what is that physiologically? I would love to see some studies done on that. Straight here, yeah.
Lestrade, as we might say, as a French gangster. Yeah.
Like, I'd love to get some sense of, you know, if there is importance in the sort of detached state, you know, where we're in the imagination, in the, some people would say being in the, you know,
Being in the video.
the crown chakra, you know, where we're actually imagining and thinking instead of being present. Like, what is the importance of that, health-wise? You know, mental health-wise, maybe.
Okay.
Right? Like, is it important to be able to remove ourselves from that? Gino would say no. Gino would say the more you can train yourself to be in that wide open space.
The more you can train yourself to be in the wide open space. You said the more you can train yourself to be in the wide open space?
Well, I'm saying he would say, because I'm paraphrasing from
Sure.
understanding.
Hey, buddy.
You know, that he's talking about. He would say that I think that the more we train ourselves to be present in the moment and experience everything around, even when we're in intense conversation, that may tempt us to go away or not be present to the way that the fabric feels on our skin, or the way the temperature feels, or the sounds that we might hear in the forest, or the fact that cat just ran away, or, you know, that kind of thing. Right. So the more that you can incorporate that, that what becomes possible is essentially anything.
Yeah.
Right? That things start to emerge that are unexpected sometimes, right? That are really telling us something about life. They're telling us something about consciousness. That are and they're often seen very serendipitous. The things that come up as
Or synchronistic. As
right.
Some people might say.
Well,
including
synchronistic,
myself.
but also serendipitous. Like they seem to be often
Both.
good, as well as you know.
Totally.
As well as indicating synchronicity,
Totally.
they actually are things that we're often pleased about.
Uh-huh.
You know, maybe opportunity.
Totally. Well, I mean, I keep identifying with what you're saying, but this is a large part of the reason I'd say that recently I talk about, like, we can literally write reality. Like,
right.
And I'm using language to recode reality, you know, because it feels like that, and it seems to be the case.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us are experiencing that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what, like, reality surfing relies upon.
Right.
Reality surfing relies upon life crafting. Life craft is when you're able to, like, implement story and play with the fabric of reality as it arises in such a way that you can craft life.
Yeah.
You know?
It's brilliant. Oh.
What's your own? How do you feel? Well, let's just go with that. How do you feel right now? Ready to go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
We made it successfully. I'm actually that's really incredible and awesome.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's not the right one. Yeah. Well, thanks again for driving.
For sure. And I just want to say before we go to sleep, because I'm gonna go stay up in there for a few hours probably. I realized we had some friction arise earlier that I just wish to acknowledge a second time now that we've gained some perspective and distance from it.
Yeah.
And my intention, my meta intention is to, I guess, be building community.
Yeah.
And you are also community, and so the friction that arose, I think, is just part of my. I'm still learning. I'm still iterating on how to, like, most optimally keep in flow with reality and with commitments, and now that I'm coming back into group work, like actual commitments, you know, that I might make, and while also continuing to build community, such as with the people we met who were sleeping on the street tonight.
Right.
So you know, I didn't mean to cause any friction, and I apologize in the sense that you know, that was not my intention.
Right. Well, the thing you should know is that I wouldn't be so brash as to maintain or say or believe that what you did was wrong.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be very clear that we you know, if we kept moving in the car, that I would just be happier, and then we could discuss whatever. So it was. I don't maintain. I'm not gonna leave that situation thinking, oh, you know, Jared's wrong, or Jared doesn't care about me, or, you know, Jared's a, you know, crazy motherfucker, or any of that stuff. Like, that's not. None of that will ever, you know, come to bear from that. What's for me, it was just like I was willing to execute, like, force of will to just keep the car moving, and then deal with the consequences of that later. So I hope that I didn't leave you feeling, you know, cut off from your purpose and mission in doing that.
Thank you. I guess I really appreciate you sharing that. And as the last part of my own observation of any tension that may still exist in me, I guess I would just invite you without obligation to consider the following intention, at least with me.
Yes.
Which is, just as a quick example, as a hypothetical, when I started saying, if you just let me finish my sentence there, it'll just be less than 2 more seconds, you know?
Yeah.
And if you really just listen to the question, you can honestly, with a single quantum of time, having listened to it, say, no, I'd like to keep going.
Right.
And I wouldn't even hesitate to keep going right there immediately.
Right.
And so I guess the only thing I just wish to ask is that you may set an intention. It's totally an invitation, not an obligation, but
I just felt slightly not listened to, and you may have felt the same way.
Right.
And so in that case, I definitely can be an intense person.
Yeah.
And so I'm giving you permission and inviting you, and I'm not putting it on you. I'm just saying, because I know for me, I'm still figuring out how to optimize and like be in flow and stuff. And so sometimes I make decisions that create tension for other people, you know?
Yeah.
So in the meantime, also, I would ask that in this community, you may set an intention to advocate for yourself, or just listen and then advocate for yourself in a constructive way.
Yeah. So I get
what I would call constructive, meaning just like without force of will with me.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And I honor that, and I will. I'll seek to, in that situation, for instance, I could just allow us to come to a stop, and you'd ask your question, and because you're clearly respectful of me also, and of people around you, and so in the future, I would let that situation play out that way, right?
Well, and just to set an intention is not a commitment. Meaning, like if you don't, it's all good, right?
Yeah. Well, and
I'm gonna work on observing it and not identifying it, all that kind of stuff too, you know.
Yeah.
So
there was another thing about the situation with the car that was like a nuanced part of the situation for me, was that I didn't want to stop and then start again in front of those guys, because I just didn't want to have them be kind of left with a weird thing like, why'd they stop, and then go again, So I was kind of like, let's just roll, let's just keep moving.
I got you.
We can work this out. But at the same time, I've realized that, I left you feeling like kind of forced and not listened to. So anyway, I'm sorry about that.
It's all good, brother.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Thanks
you
for being so honest and genuine in your sharing.
Thank you for listening and for also being genuine and honest.
Yeah, man, I'm seeking that. I'm seeking to learn that more and more, how to be that, and it's like I'm learning a lot right now. So
This is a transformational journey, brother.
no doubt.
Well, I love you, I would say.
Yes, I love you too, man. I'll look forward to seeing your bright, shiny face in the morning.
Word. Well, so I'm just gonna sleep until 15 minutes before we're leaving, if that's possible, and y'all just wake me up.
Well, I'm probably...
Oh, you might get out of here.
We even take one of the cars. Where are the keys?
Here's her car.
Okay, so I'll just put them...
Let's put it here, because she'll see it too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, good night, and I'll see you when I see you, if I see you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna really hope that you do see me, and that I see you as well. I think that'll be best.
Yeah.
But I realized, things can go any number of ways.
You never know, I guess. I don't know. Good night.
Good night, brother.
Good night, brother. How did this turn on? Interesting. It's interesting. That's the temperature. Interesting. There it is. That's so funny. I don't think this thing works. I was turning that and the thing is down here. So this is Jared Scheib, aka Dreama, like that. And this is a bunch of stuff. This is hashtag reality surf, hashtag plural life, and hashtag consciousness hacking, hashtag community, and hashtag unity, and hashtag unconditional love. Thank you.